Good evening. How everyone doing today? God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Summer Jill Spiritual. I'm here to give you a little short news on tonight. I'm gonna give you a word later on today. First, we're gonna start with McCarthy. The government speaker. He came up with a plan late last night, at the last minute to keep the government open. But Mr. President Biden had came up with a bill that Congress had passed, bipartisan bill to keep the government open short time for 47 days. So dealing with that city, they had Mr. Carter, they had made an agreement then with the debt ceiling. This really wasn't supposed to happen. He did not stick with the agreement, not to cut limit spending. So the agreement, which is expected to raise the county borrowing authority in exchange for cut in spending, was struck after weeks, led by President Bennett and McCarthy. Now, them two made an agreement with the debt ceiling. So whatever money was spent, it was supposed to be limited and not cut. So there should have not been a shutdown on the table, to agreement that McCarthy did not stick to. The debt ceiling was raised and spending was not supposed to be cut. So McCarthy had, when you're making agreement, a big agreement like this here, you have to stick with it. Because it could have been a disaster. If we would have had a shutdown, when it could have been avoided. You know, it could have been avoided. It would have been a totally big crisis on our hands. So we still have 47 days left to figure out, a bill before another shutdown. You know, so that's on McCarthy. He did not stick to his agreement. The agreement with the debt ceiling was borrowing limited of spending. It was not supposed to be cut, but he did. So now we're going to talk about Fani Willis. Fani Willis is facing racist abuse after indictment from former President Trump. Now Georgia prosecution subjects a threat after Trump made a statement to the N-word, after latest charges. So Fani, the county DA had promised, a historical decision from her office investigation into allegedly attempt to overturn Georgia 2020 election. All this with this election. You know, Fani Williams, said that her office had been receiving threats, emails, who titled read Fani corrupted N-word, that you are going to fail. You and Democrat. So now security. Now she had to have security. You had to have security around her, around the courthouse, ahead of what Willis had promised to be a historical decision. So we see the former president are sending out threats, to Miss Fani, through the email, using words that he should not be using, as a former president who is running for president now. So now Fani have to have security around her, from a person that is running for a president. So we have former President Trump throwing out threats and still running for president, still out walking around running for president when he got all these indictments on him, all this on sexual cases, everything is on him, and he's still walking around and still threatening someone. You know, um, it's impossible. It's impossible to be a president, when you are threatening people, and we're supposed to, American supposed to be safe and secure with the president who you're supposed to look over, so you are a danger, to the world, and when someone has to get security around them because they're getting threats from you and your team, that's a problem. You have all kind of criminal cases against you. You threaten the DA. You are a danger to America. Not to be trusted in the White House. Among the document. So how you gonna be a president? and you probably gonna be doing the same thing over and over with the document. So you are disqualified to be a president a second time around. Because you can't be a president and you threaten someone when someone got to get a security, to be around them at all times. You can't be doing these type of things and still running for a president. You know, Americans supposed to be feeling comfortable with the president, not have to get security around him, not to tell the president something, then he coming back on a tweet and coming at someone. You have to do better of what you're doing as you trying to run for president. And you still running for president with all these things coming against you, that are against you. You is threatening a DA. This is impossible, to still be running for a president when you is threatening someone. A president not supposed to be threatening someone. A president not even supposed to be coming at someone on social media. You're not supposed to go back and forth with someone. So you is pretty much disqualified as a president, to be running a second time around. Because the type of things you're doing is not what a president is supposed to be doing. So that's on that. So we gonna talk about Mr. President Biden had said the government shutdown. He signed the bill late last night. Before the deadline. The Congress had passed a spending bill that would keep the government open until just before Thanksgiving. So why this is good news. I strongly urge Republicans in Congress to pass a year-long budget agreement and avoid another crisis. And that's what we got to concentrate on. We got to concentrate on the solution of what we have to do so we won't have to deal with another crisis. So thanks Congress, for voting to keep the government open, preventing an unnecessary crisis, that would have inflicted needless pain on millions of Americans. That's what I'm saying. This would have been a big crisis, with businesses and everything else. This would have been crisis on millions of Americans. So bipartisan bill to keep the government open for 47 days. And it said it's going to be like right before Thanksgiving. So thank God, we don't have a shutdown right now. We got to come up with something before 47 days unless we'll be in the same predicament again. So we talk about McCarthy. All this could have been prevented because him and Mr. President Biden had agreement months ago with the debt ceiling. With the debt ceiling agreement was expected to raise the debt ceiling and limited the spending. Limited the cut of spending. So the spending. So there was spending on what needs to be spending, but then McCarthy realized he wants to shut down the government. He wasn't supposed to cut the limit of the spending. That was part of the agreement. Now he had to start sticking with the agreement. So we won't be having this unnecessary crisis. So we also talk about Fani Willis, DA. She dealing with Trump case. And she's starting to get threat. Through her email, calling her all kinds of names, and this is unacceptable, and still running for a president and carrying on like this, still calling people all kinds of names, so a president cannot be threatening no one, and then when you're a president. So when you're a president and someone make you mad, well, what you gonna do? Go back and forward on social media and you be threatening people. This is impossible. You know, we can't have a president that's throwing threats out. You know, so this is we can't trust you in the White House. You know, among the document. You know, because you feel like you were supposed to do what you did with the document. You know, so this is disqualified. You know, for this kind of behavior for a president a second time around. Uh, you know, so we talk about Mr. President came at the nick of time before midnight. With a bipartisan bill that had passed by Congress. You know, so thank God for that. That was good news. You know, so we have it under control right now for 47 days. Um, and so that's all the news I have for you today. If I have anything else to speak on, I will let you know. And I will see y'all later on with a word, a God word for you tonight. So y'all have a blessed and safe day, and I see y'all on the next video.